When you hear the word Rolex, what do you think of? That iconic crown, right? It's this global symbol of success, quality, you name it. But what if I told you that behind that logo, there's this incredible story of craftsmanship and secrets that goes way deeper than just being a status symbol? Well, today, that's what we're going to do. We're going behind the crown to find out what really makes a Rolex tick. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is true luxury anyway? Is it just about the fancy brand name and the hefty price tag, or is there something more to it? I think we can find the answer by really digging into what it takes to build the most famous watch on the planet. And look, for a lot of people, that's where the conversation starts and stops. You get a Rolex when you've made it. It's a statement piece, an icon. But that is just scratching the surface. So, we're going way beyond the status symbol. We're going to uncover the absolutely incredible and honestly pretty surprising secrets that are hidden right behind that little crown. All right, and this first secret, it just completely defies everything we know about modern automated manufacturing. You probably guessed these watches are just cranked out by some high-tech machines, but the reality, it couldn't be more different. That's right, every single Rolex is put together by hand. We're talking about real people, incredibly skilled artisans who pour their expertise and pride into every single tiny detail. This isn't your typical assembly line, it's more like a master workshop. And the amount of time they commit to this is just, wow. Get this, it takes over a full year to create just one watch. Think about that. More than 365 days of painstaking work goes into that one timepiece on someone's wrist. So what on earth are they doing for a whole year? Well, it all starts with Rolex actually forging its own metals in-house. Then they craft hundreds of unbelievably tiny, complex parts that all leads up to that insane, meticulous hand assembly process. And after all that, it goes through round after round of brutal testing to make sure it's perfect. It really is a marathon, not a sprint. And speaking of testing, Rolex takes that to a whole other level. I mean, this isn't just about making something that looks good. It's about engineering a tool that can literally survive the most punishing, extreme conditions you can possibly imagine. And to prove that point, they went to the most extreme place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. We're talking the deepest, darkest, most crushing environment on the planet. Back in 2012, the director James Cameron took a special submersible all the way to the bottom. Now, here's the crazy part. Strapped to the outside of that sub was an experimental Rolex called the Deep Sea Challenge. This thing was engineered to be waterproof up to an unbelievable 12,000 meters. The pressure down there is just immense. It would crush a normal submarine like a soda can. So how did it do? Well, it performed flawlessly. It kept perfect time for the entire descent and ascent. Just a stunning, mind-blowing testament to what their engineering can do. But here's the thing, that kind of toughness doesn't just come from a clever design. It's literally built into the DNA of the watch itself, starting with the very specific metal they use. Okay, so here's a key detail most people don't know. Not all stainless steel is the same. Most luxury watch brands use a very good steel called 316L, but Rolex, they use something called 904L steel. It's way more resistant to rust and corrosion, it's harder, and it holds a polish that's just brighter and lasts longer. They just go that extra mile. So let's just pause for a second. We've got a handmade object that takes a year to build, made from superior materials, and tested to survive the bottom of the ocean. It kind of makes sense you'd want to protect how you do all that, right? Well, Rolex takes protection very, very seriously. In fact, their headquarters in Geneva is basically a high-tech fortress. The security there is the stuff of legends. People say it's more like a maximum security prison than a watch factory. I mean, the security measures are just astounding. We're talking about fingerprint scanners, massive vault doors, iris scanners, armed guards, you name it. It's the kind of protection you'd expect to see at Fort Knox. Which, of course, leads to the big question, what in the world are they guarding so fiercely in there? Is it just piles and piles of gold? Well, sure, they've got their own in-house gold and platinum foundries, so that's part of it. But the real treasure is the knowledge. It's the secrets, the decades of research, the patents on tiny components like their parachrome hairspring, a part that's thinner than a human hair and absolutely vital for accuracy. That's what they're protecting. Oh, and of course, the finished watches themselves. So, with all that protection, all that craftsmanship, all that innovation, what's it all worth? Well, In 2017, a single Rolex Daytona from 1969 sold at an auction for $17.8 million for one watch. So when you put it all together, it becomes pretty clear we're dealing with something that is so much more than a watch and way more than a status symbol. Let's just pull all these threads together. The reality is that a Rolex is a handmade work of art that takes over a year to create. It's an incredible piece of engineering built for the harshest extremes. It's constructed from materials that are a cut above the rest. Its secrets are so valuable they have to be guarded like a fortress. And all of that adds up to something that's valued like a piece of history. Which brings us all the way back to our first question about luxury. So what is a Rolex really? Is it a high-performance tool, a financial asset, a wearable piece of history? The incredible answer seems to be, yeah, it's all of those things, all at once. And that combination, that might just be the best definition of true luxury there is.